My name is Lexi, and today we're going to be talking about the Patriot Act. For those of you who don't know what the Patriot Act is, it's an acronym for the Uniting and Strengthening America by providing appropriate tools required to intercept and obstruct terrorism. The act was signed into law on October 26, 2001 by President Bush in the wake of the September 11 attacks. It was designed to deter and prevent terrorist attacks against the United States and increase and enhance the authority of federal officials to track and intercept communications. The legislation also incorporated critical sunset provisions to provide congressional oversight of the government's use of anti-terrorism tools. So our main claim is just going to be that modify the Patriot Act to substantially reduce access to private information. Although the Patriot Act had good intentions when quickly being implemented after the attacks on the World Trade Center to help gain information in regards to terrorists and in hopes in preventing any future attacks in the U.S. under the Act, the government has been giving a little too much access to other information that does not pertain to terrorist action information at all. Rather, that the information that is being viewed is our private information, such as cell phone records, emails, data, searches, and messages. So under the Patriot Act, it's been giving it's given the government more access to what we view on a daily basis. Under the act, it actually violates some of our civil liberties under our amendments. So one of them is the First Amendment, which is the right to privacy and freedom of speech. Under the Government Act, under the Patriot Act, it gave the authority to FBI to go ahead and do searches under our data. And in an article written by Andrew Miga in the Washington Post of July 2005, some librarians refused to comply with the FBI after giving a gag order upon the FBI's request for data during a 45-minute window on February 15, 2005. So basically what they did is that they wanted to gain access to information that was being searched at the library that these librarians were working at, and they had no specific reason to search it. It didn't even link back to terrorism, so it didn't even link to that they were looking at things towards terrorism. And the librarians actually refused because they said it was unconstitutional and it was violating their rights The American Civil Liberties Union challenged on behalf of the librarians shortly after the judge ruled that the gag order should be lifted because it was unconstitutional. So what a gag order is that when they give you, basically what they do is that if they ask for something, they make sure that you don't tell anyone that the government asked this of you. So if they saw something, they give you a gag order, not just say an email or something. Okay, so another way it imposes on our civil liberties under the Fourth Amendment for unreasonable searches and seizures. The Patriot Act allowed for the government to spy and collect addressing information about the origin, destination, communications, and the close context. So it gave them the right to go ahead and do unreasonable searches and seizures in houses if they felt that they were linking terrorism. But many of the cases that they did the unreasonable searches did not link back to terrorist actions. Another thing that, other than the fact that it's imposing on our privacy, it gave the FBI more authority, and it gave them access to get information from the CSI. In 2007 report by the Inspector General of the Justice Department found widespread and serious abuse of authority by the FBI under the Patriot Act. Many of those FBI cases involve people with no clear connection to terrorism. So like I said, they're under the Patriot Act, it's giving them more access to what they really should. So basically the way our solvency is to modify modify certain parts of the Patriot Act. So one of them, like I said, modifying the Patriot Act will limit government's access to private information and promote civil way for them to access info, so restoring the balance. Although the FBI should have the power to go ahead and access some certain records, to investigate terrorism, the court should give access to the government beforehand, because in recent cases they've shown that the FBI has been going into these searches without consent from the court. And limiting the government's authority to secret searches. Like I said, secret searches should only be allowed in special circumstances, such as someone's life is at stake or evidence will be destroyed. So it actually requires them to have a warrant. Many cases where they have done unreasonable searches, they don't have warrants and they don't have right authority to do these searches.